Hey everybody, and welcome to The Grid. We are live, coming to you from our studios located in Tampa, Florida.
It almost sounded like you had to think, welcome to...
What is this show?
Crap.
Crud. Anyway, welcome everybody. My name is Scott Kelby. Joining me, as always, he's multi-breasted, he's ambidextrous, the flatulent Matt Kloskowski.
With an introduction like that, I don't know that I can say anything but hello.
Howdy.
Hi.
Hey, we have a great show today. We have Erik Valind here. He's a lifestyle photographer, tremendous trainer. Just was at Photoshop World with us.
Yeah.
Hey, that was last week, by the way. Photoshop
World.
That's why
week.
there was
Holy
no
crap.
grid. Oh, did we have a great show?
You know what, dude? That was like one of the best places to have it, too. It was such
I think it was the best place of any
Yeah.
place we've ever had it. And we have it in Vegas, and you think, well, Vegas would be amazing. But this place, everything was right there. I mean, it was like the design of the convention center.
Oh, definitely. So here's what I would say. I would say, give me a choice to go to Vegas or Atlanta. I'll choose Vegas any day, though. I'll choose Vegas over most places.
Right.
But to have, if I got to be in the convention center for 5 days straight,
Yep.
that hands down was the place to be.
And right across the street, there was a huge mall. There was great restaurants,
Yeah.
all within walking distance.
P.F. Chang's.
There were 3 restaurants on property, and it was just great. And the vibe was just tremendous. We had a great time. Erik Valind, our guest today, was teaching there. You know that someone stopped me in the hallway to tell me how good he was. I was in Erik's class. He's so good. And I'm like,
See, somebody
really?
stopped me to tell me how bad
Really?
he was. It was.
I heard that
very
too. I heard he was
uncomfortable.
bad. Anyway, he was terrific, and we were very excited to have him here. We're doing our blind photo critiques, so our viewers have submitted images. We're going over those in a minute.
We also have a, so we talked about Photoshop World too. So we also have a discount for the next Photoshop World because it is in Vegas, right?
It's in Vegas,
It's in
absolutely,
Vegas?
in September.
And I think if you sign up on or before June 2nd, 2014, you save $150.
Ooh, sweet.
So now, sadly, there is not a PF Chang's right across the street from
No.
Photoshop World Vegas or Maggiano's.
Wait, there is a P.F. Chang's at the Aladdin.
Yeah.
It's walking
I guess
distance.
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Dude, it's if you go down, so you're at Mandalay Bay, then there's Luxor, then there's, Luxor's
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
end, there's Excalibur, cross the street, you're almost there.
And Vincent Versace will be there.
Yes, he will. He works there. Hey, anyway, also, we've got so many people signed up for Photoshop World Vegas, right? Well, I just saw the numbers. We have hundreds and hundreds of people already signed up, and we just announced it like 2 days ago. So anyway, we hope you come and join us in Las Vegas. It is September
2nd through the 5th.
3rd through 5th.
3rd through the 5th. But
So anyway, go now,
enough.
sign up, and come and join us. It'll be a blast. Hey, a couple things. Photoshop User TV is on tomorrow, and Corey and Pete are doing a wrap-up of what they taught at Atlanta. They're showing some more tutorials and stuff.
Cool.
So go catch Photoshop User TV over at KelbyOne. And big news. We announced this during the show. It's big news. First off, finally.
I'm not going to say anything. I can't.
We've released an Android app for KelbyOne. It has taken just 2 weeks. It took a while, but it's up and running. It's in beta right now, but you can still go and download it for free. Just go to kelbyone.com/Android. Now, here's the thing. It's designed for, say it with me, KelbyOne subscribers. So I've had people downloading and go, well, I can't
get in.
watch
It won't
anything. Of course you can. It's for subscribers.
Yeah.
But so that's new. It's beta, so we're getting your feedback and stuff, but so far so good. It's gone amazingly well. All right. Also, the Kelby training app that's existing for iOS.
I'm really excited about this.
Yeah. The number one most requested feature of all of our users,
Yep.
it's in there now, which is the ability to take a class offline. So if you know you're going to take a flight, you can take a class offline so you don't have to be connected to the internet. You can watch it on your train. You can watch it on a plane. You can watch it on whatever. You can actually download 2 classes. You can take 2 classes with you. So if you know it's going to be a long flight, you can download a couple of classes.
Cool.
So
Dude, I'm excited about that. 'Cause I always want to watch the
right.
training, and planes are such a great place to.
Oh, yeah.
For me to kind of kick back and do that, but I don't have.
You can now.
GoGo Wireless does not support streaming.
No, it does
video.
not support streaming.
GoGo Wireless barely supports email anymore.
It has slowed down, hasn't it?
You know what, dude? I've even written in because every time you sign up, every time you do a thing, you get a questionnaire back, like help us improve. I write in every single time, and every single time I hear nothing back because it just sucks. Every time I use it, it's horrible.
I don't want to say every time because
Sorry.
I have hot and cold on it. But
I got all cold. Sorry.
all right, anyway, but yeah, it depends on where you're flying. Sometimes the connection's great, and
I'm
sometimes
not upset
it's-
at all by it, by the way.
No, he's a little upset. Anyway, but so the Kelby training app, just go to the App Store, update your app, and you'll have it. We have already found a couple of bugs, which is not unusual for announcing a big overall. Oh, well, there's search in the app. There's a bunch of enhancements. We found some bugs, and we've already submitted the bug fixes to The Bugmaster. Yeah. So look for the KelbyOne app, and what else?
I think we should start the show.
Yeah, we got giveaways. Real quick, what are our giveaways? Hey, I say we give away one of Erik Valind's books. This is now, Erik has a number of books, but this is probably his latest one. It's From Snapshots to Great Shots. It's a whole series put out by our friends at PeachPit Press. It's called Portrait Photography. I don't know which camera to aim at. That one?
There you
go. One. Oh, hi. This is Erik's book. It's very, very valuable, so treat it with care. All right, you'll be able to get that. And also, what else are we giving away?
Do you remember when you threw a magazine on Photoshop TV and somebody wrote in you desecrated the...
Yeah, I desecrated it.
That was funny. Anyway, and then a KelbyOne membership, so that's $250.
Yeah, KelbyOne, $250 membership. So our topic today is live blind photo critiques. We are going to have, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, Erik will be joining us. We have a little great topic to start off with, and then we're going to launch into the photo critique. So can I ask you guys something while you're watching live? For those of you who are watching live, if you would just go on this little break real quick, you have my permission to skip the commercial. Go and send out a tweet or drop it on Facebook or put it on G+, that the grid is live right now and that we have a really cool guest. We're doing blind photo critiques. Anything that you would do to share it, we would be greatly appreciative. And then you are also officially excused from watching the commercial. We'll be right back after this commercial you don't have to watch.
Hey Corey, we're going to that new pizza place across the street after work. You in?
Yeah, I really wish I could, man. I'm under deadline with this book. I gotta get it done.
You're a machine, Corey. You're a machine!
Well, you have no idea.
From the robotic compositing mind of Corey Barker, learn step-by-step Photoshop tricks, type effects, extracting, textures, Hollywood effects, and really badass 3D. Photoshop Down and Dirty Tricks for Designers, Volume 2. Your mind will be composited away.
That one I can. Hi.
Keep talking.
Hey, we're back. Scott Kelby here, Matt here, special guest.
Special.
Very special.
Short bus special.
Erik Valind. Buddy,
hey.
Welcome.
Cool, thank you very much for having me back.
This is not your first, you've been on here before.
I have.
We did the holiday gear guy with you.
Yeah, we did a gear guy.
You brought it. Are you going to bring it like that today?
Absolutely.
All right, excellent.
It's done been brought in.
It's excellent. Hey, I have a weird story to tell that I'm going to share. People have been waiting for me to tell this story. I teased it a couple of days. But first, I want to talk to Erik because you were on you teach a lot of lighting and stuff, which is great, and you're awesome at it. But you were also on a panel that got a lot of buzz at Photoshop World about going pro.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are like, man, I'm really loving this. I'm getting pretty good at it. I'd like to make that step to the next level. Can you tell us a little bit about like some of the, just give us the highlights of that panel because I know a lot of people are interested in it.
Yeah, so we had a bunch of questions. Matt was pitching us questions too, which kind of really got the topics going. But there were a few things. One was on branding, which really kind of stood out to me. And the other one was the whole name of the thing was, when do you go pro? Like, when do you start? So we had a long discussion about how everyone kind of got started. And I was by far the youngest guy on the panel. And the biggest thing that I have to say, if you guys are looking to do photography, is that it's not the kind of thing where you just, get a credit card, quit your day job, buy a fancy camera, a really fast lens, and then you're going to be instantly making money and supporting yourself. So I was a part-timer for a long time, and there's no shame in that. You work, keep your main job, work on the weekends.
Wait a minute. There is shame in that.
For shame.
I'm just totally kidding.
But I think,
wait, stop.
I think
there is shame.
And I think that helped a lot of people too, because they saw this is what somebody else did. This is like they actually, you were a bartender, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think that helped a lot of people out, because you asked the question. You said, how many people in here have a job other than photography? Like the
Everyone's
whole room
hand
went up.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it was how to go pro, so the whole room would go up. So
yeah, nobody has already worked.
We stacked the deck a little bit. Yeah.
I take that back. Never mind. That was stupid.
But no, that was great about it, and I don't think anyone in that room necessarily went full time as a pro photographer. I know we had Jerry on there as a wedding photographer, and he was a second shooter for years. And I know Joel had assisted people too. So it just goes to show that this realistically is a gradual process. It's not a jumping off point where you just jump in with both feet and then wish for the best. That's a quick way to failure and big credit card debts if you just jump right in.
I thought some of the good questions were also dealt with pricing. So because that's a common question, and I think all three of you gave really good answers for that because I think everybody wants the formula.
Yeah.
Oh, you should charge $950.
Yeah.
And all three of you kind of pitched in and kind of answered that question in saying, you number one, you have to take your costs.
Yeah.
So what do you have to make to sustain a living? I have to make X amount of money. So you better start dividing that out over all your photo shoots. And then the other one was, which is the one that nobody can answer for you, is what are people charging in your market? And I thought that was really good information because I think, again, people want the formula, but there is no, the formula is what are people charging in your market? It's hard to just bust out of the gate and charge 10 times that if you don't have the experience and credibility to support it. So you got to kind of base it off of what people are willing to pay where you live.
Yeah, like what your market will bear, absolutely. And you know what, there's another thing too, I think Joel brought it up, you can't necessarily just, or Jerry did too, we all touched on it, you can't just base your, your goods and services on a price. Because as soon as you start competing on price, someone's gonna undercut you by $5 and you're gonna lose that business. So you have to come out and create a unique style. And that's what, another thing that takes so long, not just financially, but having a voice as an artist and having a unique style that people identify with you and they're willing to pay more for. Because if you're able to make a good enough photo and someone else can make a good enough photo for $5 less, you're going to be undercut until you're out of business by the end of the year. So having that kind of style, figuring out what your market will bear as far as pricing, but also having something unique worth paying a little bit more for to differentiate yourself is going to make a huge difference.
Can I throw one more? And that I remember you guys answered really well too was how do you name your business?
It's got to be something catchy, and you should always have an aperture symbol in your logo for sure. Yeah. To set that way they know you're a photographer.
I think what you do is you look to the hairdressing industry, who have been able to use every word, scissor
Fantastic
sisters,
Sam's.
and everything that has some little, there are websites, I kid you not, that list names of hairdressers.
Really?
Because they're really good at the names that are so tied to what they do. It's hilarious.
But the answer that came up from that was I think all three of you kind of felt you should name it with your name.
After you, absolutely.
And not like Your Eyes Photography.
Yeah. Now this is what surprised me. The name of you went a little different. So Erik's, and you've gotten a lot of business from it, is called Joe McNally Photography.
Yeah.
And I was surprised that you would. I thought you would have used your own name, but I guess it's working.
They're surprised to see how young I am too. When I walk in, they're like, "We thought you had 30 years of experience on the job," and I'm like, "Yeah."
I started when I was 2. Hey, one more thing that I want to talk about, and we'll get to the blind critiques here. Well, I got a story and then the blind critiques. Was I get so many emails that ask that very same question: how much to charge? And I don't know if you realize this, but that is a topic that you're actually forbidden to speak of. You can't get 4 people in a panel and go, how much do you charge for a portrait? And we all agree it should be $900. That's price fixing. You can't get a number of people in a room together and decide what the price of photography is going to be. And so I've been at events where they're telling me, here's the rules of speaking at this event. And it's like, you do not discuss pricing. You do never mention a price out loud. You can't say, and it's because of that, it's a rule of collusion and price fixing that you can't sit there in a room with a group full of photographers and go, we have determined a portrait shoot is $1,200.
So it's not just because we're dodgy or trying to knock away our price.
It is
really
a very weird thing. Yeah. Hey, so I got a quick story, and you haven't heard this, Erik, but you're about to experience it. So I was in Salt Lake City this week teaching on Monday, and I sent out a tweet. Hey, I'm going to Salt Lake City. I'm going to be there early, like noon. I'd love to do like a sunset shoot or something. Anybody know where to go? Well, I got a lot of things back, but what I didn't realize was a lot of people said you should go to the Bonneville Salt Flats. Well, I didn't really know where the Bonneville Salt Flats were, so I was like, oh, they're there, great. Because I've always wanted to do a car shoot in like a dry lake bed or something like that. this is perfect. So I go to the car rental and I tell them, I need a cooler car. What do you got? My car was like a $45 rental, it was like a Ford Fiesta or something. And the woman was very nice. It was really nice. And she's like, well, let me say I got a Volvo. I'm like, keep going. What else do you got? Because I looked at some exotic car rentals, like for a Jag or something, it was $750 a day, plus tax, plus all that. It was like going to be $1,000 a day. I ain't renting a $1,000 car. So she goes, I do have a Mercedes like C250. I'm like, oh God, here we go. She goes, well, it would take your rental up to $71. I'm like, oh, sign me up. So, oh yes, sign me up. So I was really excited. I got the car, and so then we find out the Bonneville Salt Flats are about 100 miles from Salt Lake City. Now, I just want to mention, Brad Moore, my assistant, my photo assistant, with all my gear, my bag of gear and everything, missed the flight. First time ever, all these years we've been doing seminars, he completely he set his alarm wrong on his iPhone, completely missed the flight. So I get there and I call my buddy Dave, who works our seminars with us. Dave has a camera, which will remain a nameless camera, but it often focuses. Anyway, so it focuses more than it used to. Anyway. So we drive the 100 miles, we get out there and we're there well before we go to lunch, and then we're well before sunset. So we find out to get to the Salt Flats, you go down a 5-mile road, and then it just ends, and you just drive out into it. There's no gates, there's no barriers, just And so now, if you had a car and you went out there, you would probably do donuts and things like that, because there's nothing around for miles in any direction, just mountains off in the distance. I'm sure people do that, but I didn't. Anyway, we're driving around. We drive a couple miles out, right? And it's starting to look, well, hey, the sun's going to be down in a couple hours. Maybe I should so I want to find the spot where I'm going to put the car, because I want to get it in the right angle and all this stuff. So I turn around. We've gone miles out there. I turn around and start coming back. Well, on the dashboard of this Mercedes, they have a little warning light starts coming on, and it shows a picture with swirly lines. Well, I know what that means because I can feel it. My wheels are starting to spin.
Uh-oh.
This is not good. So we're driving around, I'm kind of starting to slide a little bit. I've been driving straight, thank you. Not in circles. It's crazy. I'm driving straight. Ooh, that's stupid. Why would you do that? Driving straight.
And the Mercedes you want to take a picture of.
Right. No, because you don't want to, Anyway, so I tell my friend Dave, I said, Dave, dude, we got to stop. And what we'll do is I'm going to stop and find out what the right angle for the car is. I'll take a couple of test shots, and then we'll kind of move the car, and we'll move it into an area where you don't see tire tracks, because apparently a lot of people go out there and do donuts and stuff. So I pull the car into a space, and I get out. And I say, okay, well, this isn't quite right. I get in the car. Zzz, zzz, zzz. We're stuck. So Dave's like, I'm a professional. I'm from up north. I will fix this. And he jumps in the driver's seat, and we start rocking it back and forth. And it's building up the stuff big time. Sure enough, he goes over it and goes, zzz. And we're there for an hour trying to just different ways to get it out. There's no getting. This thing it's there. We're the only people there. Nobody around for a million miles. And then we see a 4x4 coming out. We stop and talk to them. He's like, yeah, I can't help you. I don't have anything to tow you out. Good luck, though. Well, so we start calling different wreckers. I call AAA, and they're like, okay, how many feet off the road are you? Are you more than 100 feet off the road? I'm like, 1.5 miles. I'm like, yeah, probably. They're like, we can't come out there. So we start calling different. So I remember there's a Sinclair gas station right before you get on there. So I call, don't look.
Oh, come on. It's fine.
No, I call the Sinclair gas station, and I actually get the restaurant first. Finally get the thing, and they go, oh yeah, you're stuck out there. That's not good. You're going to need a mud cat. I'm like, what's a mud cat? Oh, it's a thing to get you out of there. We're going to need a mud cat? Yeah, you're going to need a mud cat. So we're like, well, how much is a mud cat? They said, oh, the tow's about $500. What? $500? Are you crazy? We're not getting a mud cat, so we're out there pushing the car.
That Jack's not looking so bad.
We're doing everything we can. This car is going nowhere because we have nothing. We're in the middle of just nothing. We don't have shivs to put under the thing.
No
we got
2x4s,
nothing. There's no 2x4s. There's nothing. So anyway, I get out and take pictures of my stupid car stuck in the mud. Can we switch to my Look at this.
It's
it
a
was
beautiful
gonna
photo
be.
of the
It was
mud.
gonna be beautiful. It was
Yeah,
gonna
dude,
be.
that was a pretty
This is
sunset.
not. It's not even in the right spot. This is just where we stopped to pick where the right spot would be. Right. So anyway, it's very sad, and we're like, and now you can't tell because I took the spots off. There were mud spots all over the car.
Not from the
'Cause
donuts.
It's kicking up, not from the donuts, no, but just from kicking up the dirt instead of donuts. We didn't have any donuts in the car. Anyway, oh gosh, so it starts getting late. Now we're starting to get nervous. It's about 44 degrees. The wind is like 20 miles. Like you get outside the car and your jacket's like, it's like, you're like, whoa, it's getting cold and it's getting dark and we're getting scared. And we're like, we're laughing. And then we're like, so we call different wreckers, we call different people. We call the guy with the mud cat, and he's like, I'm working on a semi, I don't know if I can help you. Might be a few hours. We finally call the police department. The dispatcher was so nice. The woman on the phone was so nice. Courtney, still remember her name.
Thank you, Courtney.
Called back, called us, called the mud cat guy, got us all together. Mud cat guy goes, yeah, it's gonna be about $500. And I'm looking at Dave, and he's looking at me, and we're looking, it's getting dark, really dark. And it's like 7 miles back through the freezing whatever. And so we made the call. Bring the mud cat.
Mud cat guy.
All right, let me see if I got a picture of the mud
photos of
cat.
the mud
Okay,
cat?
here's the mud cat. This is an iPhone picture of the mud cat. This is what $500
serious.
looks like. But look in the background. See there, it has to come out on a big truck.
Yeah.
Now, what we didn't know was, although there are no paved roads out there, obviously, there's kind of a road. There's kind of a straight line that you go on, and cars and trucks can come by there, and a couple did. But they can go out to there, and then they have to pop off the mud cap. And he pulled us out of there in about 20 seconds. It was like nothing. It was like, and then he just unhooks us, and we drive off into the sunset. And we got home back to Salt Lake City about midnight. Now, while we were concerned that we did have one thing that might help us. Hold on. Where is it? Here we go. That would sustain us. We did have the perfect food. Spray cheese, besides being actually verified the best food on earth. Lasts forever. We figured that we had 6 years we could stay out there easy with this Ritz crackers, a Diet Coke, and this easy cheese. So anyway, we got back, we made it back. I did the seminar and all. Here's a picture of the wheel.
Ooh.
Yeah. See how nice and clean the car was? It was ready for a photo shoot, wasn't it?
That's some
And
serious
if I were to
Photoshop work you did
critique
on
this
those panels.
photo,
Yeah, give us a critique.
I
Matt.
mean, the brightest part, it's the ground. It's like you lit the ground there, and I don't know that that's where you want to draw the
In
attention
Lightroom, they
to.
have a gradient
Yeah,
filter.
dude, seriously, you could have thrown a vignette on this thing.
Oh, by the way, I didn't take this shot. This was Dave's shot.
Oh.
See, he texted it to me. This is his. But thank you for trying to criticize me.
Wow.
Here we go. So you know the difference between
He should have put a vignette on
Do you know
it.
what the difference between me and the people that send in blind critiques are? I never ask people to critique my work. I never go, here's a photo, what do you think? All right, anyway, but there is one more shot I want to show here. So, cleaning this car took Brad. Now, Brad finally did show up. Brad calls it like 8:30. Hey, I landed. And we're like, yeah, we're stuck in the Salt Flats 100 miles from you. He goes, do you want me to come get you? So he gets some props for that. Brad was like, I'm going to come get you. Little did Brad know, you'd have to be in a mud cat. Brad, go rent a mud cat.
Go get a mud cat.
Drive 100 miles, grab a mud cat. Anyway, so cleaning this car and getting it, we got it back pristine. It looked like it had never been anywhere. But I'm telling you what, it took Brad and I hours. We went through a regular car wash, then we went and we had to clean can you imagine the inside of the car with the mud?
You guys getting in and out.
Dude,
yeah.
there was mud everywhere, but we really did a good job, and it was like pristine when we took it back.
Yeah, until they see the grid, and then they realize what really happened.
Well, then what are they going to do? They can't charge me cleaning. Charge the things. It's better than they hadn't washed it when I picked it up. We returned it looking better than when it came in. Anyway, that's my sad story. Thank you to everybody that tried to help us out there and get us there and stuff, but.
All right.
I did not get any shots, I can tell you.
Wow.
No, you got one great one.
Well, it's not really good if it's dug in the dirt, which is I think is kind of
Shame. It looks like it would have been a great
dude.
sunset.
Dude, and that was it. Oh, okay. We're gonna take a short break. We are going to. Brad's writing bad stuff. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we're launching right into your blind critiques. Here we go. Don't go away on the Planning Ahead crew here at the Grid.
Hey guys, I'm Erik Valind. I'm a portrait and lifestyle photographer, and in this class we're going to go indoors with that lifestyle photography. We're going to start out in a really dark location. We're going to go ahead and accent it with some really warm tungsten lights that exist there already. Then we're going to go into a location like this where I've got a mix of light that we're going to have to deal with. I've got fluorescent lights overhead, I've got tungsten light bulbs over there which are really warm, and I've got really cool blue light coming in through that window. I'll teach you how to pick and choose your battles and get the best shot under each situation. So I hope you go ahead and check out this class. It's exclusively on KelbyTraining.com, and I hope to see you soon.
Me?
No.
Me? Hey, we're back with the grid live blind photo critiques with Erik Valind. Erik, so we just saw you on one of our Kelby training classes. Actually,
yeah, I grew a beard since then, a little bit, and I got a sunburn.
Well, you're originally from this area.
Yeah, oh yeah. Originally from like Treasure Island, so Tampa area for anyone not in Florida.
And you're in New York now, right?
I'm in New York City now, yep.
Cool.
I used to work in Treasure Island.
Really?
Yeah, I did. For many years.
A long time ago.
Playing in a band.
Nice.
Yeah. I lived there, lived on the beach.
I did not know this.
Did you critique photos there?
I did not critique photos.
Why did you ever leave?
Stupid.
Yeah, same. I think it's snowing back in New York.
No, you know what
right
it
now,
was?
I'm thinking the same thing.
It was really like trying to make a living. Because making a living as a musician is not very good. It wasn't conducive to having a family unless, you know, you're Kanye. He probably does okay. But there are other people that maybe, you know who does well? Jay-Z.
Jay-Z does all right. Him and Beyonce are like neck and neck every year.
I just saw him. He's worth $500 million.
Holy cow.
That's...
And a fraction of the Nets.
He's making money like Monaco Javier there. Hey, speaking of Monaco, hey, we have our biggest studio audience, I think, perhaps in the history of the show. Is it 4 people?
Four people.
This is exciting. We don't usually get 4. And Kathy Porepsky, which makes 5, and even though we count her for 2 because she's twice as cool as anybody we know. All right, let's take a look. Here we go. Our first person, again, for those of you who are just joining us first time, blind critiques means we look at your images, but we don't give your name. We also are honest. We just tell you like you were a friend, hey, look, if it's great, we tell you. If it needs work, we tell you. The reason why is nobody else will tell you. Your wife's not going to look at you and go, honey,
sell your gear.
Sell your gear. Your husband's not going to go, honey, it's time to give this up. Your coworkers aren't going to tell you. Your family's not going to tell you. You know who's going to tell you? Erik Valind. Here we go. This is a shot. Here's another. Oh, they're kind of small. Let me open up in camera raw. They're too small.
You weren't in Bridge, were you?
Yeah, I'm in Bridge. It's a long story. And nobody's happy about it, trust me. Bridge, there's a reason why it's free. Here we go. Here's one. We'll just look at all 4 real quick.
And you know what might make Camera Raw better? If it just had like a full screen, hide all the panels, let me see my photo view.
Oh yeah, there really isn't, is there?
No.
Okay, so overall impressions. Any overall things striking you there, Erik?
The one black and white photo is kind of throwing me off. It's the only one that stands out as, you know, which one of these is not like the other. So, I mean, you have very vivid, you know, well-processed images for the other ones, and the black and white one is just seems a little bit overexposed, and the lack of color just makes it feel like it doesn't fit. So that's the first thing right there. That one, are the horizons even on that?
It looks
the one in the background?
That one or this one here?
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of... It makes me feel like I'm falling off the side of the frame a little bit. The one in the background might be even, so technically you might have had the real horizon level.
No, it looks weird too.
Did you just move it back?
I tried to fix it, but it's I didn't do a very good job of it.
So that's one of those shots where I think you're in trouble either way. But
marked it to remove the crap.
How do you really feel?
Sorry, no, I'm sorry. Let me just clear that crop.
So I like that. I like how you put the horizon on that lower third rather than centering the subject there, because it's really heavily vignetted. So I mean, our eyes are forced to go there. You have great leading lines. So composition-wise, it's neat, but I just feel like I'm falling off the left side of the frame a little bit. So I like this. Beautiful catch lights in the eyes. I'm leaning like over Scott's shoulder as I say this.
You can look up there.
Okay. But the hair in the front is a little bit dark. So, I mean, you have a rim light coming across. There are beautiful catch lights in the eyes, great post-processing, but you see that chunk of just black space. There's like a black hole in the middle of her head. I'd like to see fill that in, dodge that out, tell her to maybe dye her roots, whatever you got to do. But
it's time to dye your roots, honey.
It's time to get it done, babe. All right, yeah, there you go. Just to bring it up, so there's actually some detail in there. it almost feels like there's a spotlight coming in over his shoulder where normally your hair light is going to be a little bit softer or a little bit dimmer. With the blonde hair like that, if you overexpose your hair lights on lighter hair, it's going to blow out. So you can see if we have a clipping plane on there, I believe their hair highlights might actually be completely gone. So you got to be really careful when you're rim lighting or hair lighting blondes or bald people, because that stuff tends to disappear really quick. So other than that, the eyes are beautiful though. This is great. The dark spots here really work. I mean, they lead to the drama. The dark parts of this and the contrast really make that photo. That's a solid shot.
Okay, what would you, if you could give them any advice, what would you tell this photographer their advice should be besides leveling the photo?
Besides leveling the photo? You're almost there. I mean, you have obviously great post-production. You have great technical ability with the lights and stuff, but I would stop looking at your good shots and figure out where you can kind of tweak them to make them a great shot. With your horizons, lightening up the shadows, being careful of where you're getting those dark spots, blown highlights, that kind of stuff. You're almost there. Just maybe slow down on each image while you're shooting it, not in post, because the post is great. But slow down when you're actually shooting and see where you can add some light or maybe turn some down. Yeah,
post is pretty good.
I'd almost take that little girl out of there too.
Yeah, absolutely.
That to me is I don't know how much call you'd have in your portfolio for. It looks like just a little snapshot of a girl in front of her iPad.
Maybe a child or something like that. Yeah,
but
or
I don't know
their child.
Yeah.
So yeah, much stronger without that. I would definitely drop the black and white, like you said. Yeah.
All righty, next.
Ooh.
It started off so promising.
What, you don't like crunchy HDR?
Well, with milk. All right, here we go.
Okay, first, overall opinions. I wouldn't be able to put any two of these pictures together for the same photographer.
Yep.
Not a one. Not a two, I mean.
And you know why that's important? Because if they were to hire, somebody was to hire you for anything, which of these 5 photographers is showing up?
Yeah.
Is it this one, this one, this one, this one, or this one? It's like I would have no way of knowing which photographer I would get if I hired you.
Yeah. Individually, that's a cool photo. Just playing with the texture, like the pose. That's crunchy.
Way overcooked.
Way overcooked. You know what? Clouds shouldn't have drop shadows. Seriously, look at this.
Shouldn't emboss them?
Look right there. There's a drop shadow all the way around the cloud. That's over-processed to death. You know what? It's interesting. So I don't know if they ran that. I'm going to say that this is not an HDR. I'm going to say that they ran a NIC plugin or an On1 plugin or something. If you want this to be crunchy and you don't want that drop shadow, in Photoshop, once you apply that effect to the layer, switch the layer to lighten. And what's weird is the drop shadow goes away.
Oh, nice.
And I can give you, so if you use, this is one of the reasons why I use On1's Perfect Effect, because they have dynamic contrast, which is that contrasty filter, but you can choose just to apply it to like the highlights and the midtones. So if you just apply it to the highlights and the midtones,
you won't have that in
you
the
don't even
shadows.
get that. But the thing is they're not afraid to use post-processing, but then they leave that little stake hole in the ground over on the right-hand side. It's like, if you weren't afraid to use Photoshop, take that out.
Is that helping? This tree isn't helping either.
Content-aware fill is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I like this one. It looks like it should be a square crop, or is that a horizontal? I think it'd be a cool throwback to throw a square crop on it, but this is beautiful. There's a little bit softer light, kind of matches the period, the style. I mean, the photo with the camera can be pretty cliche sometimes, but I mean, you match the style of the lighting with the hair and the wardrobe to the age of the camera. So if you're going to do it, you know, it was all done really well that way. I
don't know if you can actually see this really well on the small screen that you may be watching on, but I'm going to zoom in so I can see maybe if this is... since her eye is the focus of this shot and you're only seeing this one eye, you got to get rid of those red veins and stuff. There needs to be some touch up on this eye for sure. Because I noticed it at the small size, and I'll try to help out the viewers.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah, you shouldn't really have all kinds of eye veins there. It's really distracting. And a lot of people have them. It's not like, wow, she's got eye veins. Everybody's got eye veins to some extent or another. But when the whole focus of the photo, basically, if you look back at it, is what draws you into this image is her eye, right? We're generally drawn to the eyes, but you're especially drawn to her eye, and there's red veins. It's not good.
Yeah, there's just some things to have on set. When you're on set, get oil blotting sheets. You can get them at any corner store or like a CVS or Rite Aid. Get Visine. I mean, there's just these things that help you take some glare off of the face, some redness out of the eyes before even getting into Photoshop. So if you can nip that all in the bud originally, it's going to make it a lot easier afterwards.
All right, we have this. Any comments?
I like the colors. It just seems like a vacation photo, like something I would take with my iPhone. Yeah. I like this, the black and white, the cohesiveness of the portfolio. Again, just having one black and white out there in the portfolio throws it off. But it's kind of conceptual with her in there, which makes it neat. I might have cropped a little bit looser and made sure the acorn was, not tilted. That bothers me a little bit. And then maybe burned in Dodge so that she becomes a little more apparent. I mean, you can see how her face is really kind of lit up there, but she seems overly smooth and everything else has a grit to it. So it just kind of feels like she was placed in there after the fact.
Doug Evans wrote in, curious, what's wrong with showing photographic diversity? So basically, Doug, this is your stuff. No, I'm just kidding. If the different shots are all done well respective to their particular subjects, portrait, landscape, lifestyle, etc.
They're never all done well, by the way.
That's number one. Number two is there's very little call for someone that can shoot everything. Yeah. Right? If you want... In other words, if I'm looking to hire you or I'm looking to use you on a job or something, I want to know who I'm getting. This photographic diversity, that's fine to show your friends and stuff. But if you're trying to go, look, this is my, somebody had a great, they were talking to this photographer, and this photographer had so many images in their portfolio. And here's what he said. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to go, look, I can do this, and I can do this, and I can do this, and I can do this. You know what? I don't want you for any of it. Show me what you can do. Show me the real stuff that you do, and show me like I said, who I'm going to get. What you're afraid of is like, hey, I have to show the shot of me with a dog so I can shoot pets. I have to show the shot of the interior of a house so I can do that. You know what it is? If I'm going to hire a wedding photographer, you know what I want to see from you? Wedding shots. I don't want to know that you shoot anything else. I don't even care. I'm hiring a wedding photographer. If I go to your site, I want to see wedding shots. If you go to Erik's site, you're not going to see a product shot. You're not going to see things that are just way outside his, unless he has like a personal work. Because people put something in personal work, you can shoot anything. Doesn't matter. But I think what it is with photographic diversity is nobody shoots everything good.
And even if you do, human nature is I have to pick. So I have to pick this person for one thing. Like if I really like their portrait stuff, then I can't pick them for other things. Unless you live in a really tiny town, where like there's no other photographers, then maybe you can get away with it. But don't be that guy that says, I'm going to specialize in not specializing, because it's not going to do well.
And you know what I would say for this photographer? I say that they're okay at portraits, but I wouldn't hire them for travel, and I wouldn't hire them for landscape.
And you can have two things, I guess. You can have different things that you shoot, but you should have a stylistic kind of theme going on, where maybe I shoot environmental portraits. So if I shoot something of a landscape that doesn't have a person in it, it should be shot in a way where you could see that being an Erik Valind photograph. If you
you would look at it and go, that looks like Erik Valind, especially if somebody was in there.
So there's got to be some continuity between the three of, or between all of those.
Agreed.
Yeah. Oh, and okay.
Let's take a look. All right. Now there's 5 shots, so we're going to go through them kind of quickly. But here they are. One looks like an industrial shot, a fair, a landscape, travel.
Day at the beach.
Leaves.
Gotcha.
So, and you know what? Going to Doug Evans' comment, you know what this shows? That this person, they're pretty good. They can shoot a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Is that what anybody's looking for?
No,
Not that this guy's or woman's bad. Their stuff's pretty. I mean, this is obviously a competent photographer. You can make a good exposure. You've got some interesting compositions. Mm-hmm. But I don't know anything else about you. I don't really know who you are as a photographer.
Maybe some technical critiques. Everything's really heavily vignetted. Yeah, it works there for the waterfall shot. If we go over one more, it kind of works there, but I'd like to see some detail of what's going on. I mean, you took the time to make a long exposure here, and then we kind of vignetted away things that could have been maybe more of a gradient in. But I mean,
I was going to say even a neutral density gradient in the top. Oh, someone's being nasty. Who do people get when they hire Scott Kelby? Do they get a wedding photographer, a sports photographer, a reveal photographer? They only get a sports photographer. That's why I have a separate site just for my sports photography. The stuff that I show out in, like, on my portfolio is because I'm teaching photography.
Yeah, you're in a different...
I have one special portfolio that I would send people to hire me for, which is it's at squarespace.com. It's my sports photography. If you go there, now, I do have a personal work. Under personal work, you'll see a vehicle photographer. I'm not trying to get work as a vehicle photographer. I'm not ready to get work as a vehicle photographer. But I get paid to shoot sports. That's something I'm trying to get work on. So that's why I have a very separate thing for that. But if you go to my portfolio, or these are different things that I shoot, I'm putting it there because I'm a book author, because I'm a trainer, to look at all these different things.
Personal work, I hear a lot too. You have people coming in to hire you for something. They're like, okay, so you do great architectural photography, but why is your personal work all people? Or like NGO work, or, you know, like Haiti after the earthquake, that kind of stuff. Like, why would I hire you for architecture if you're really passionate about shooting people and this kind of stuff? So personal work is kind of a double-edged sword. It shows personality by having it in there, what your passions are. It can be a great conversation starter that can then lead to a job. But at the same time, it could shoot you in the foot if your personal work is that much more drastic than the work that you're trying to tell people you're passionate about and specialize in and excel at. So
see, luckily, if anybody looked at my sports, they would know I'm a better sports photographer than a car photographer.
So just keep that in mind when you're putting up personal work.
All right. So our Dukeshire says, not being nasty, but you shoot everything. You know why I shoot everything? Because I have to write books on everything. And when I have to do a Lightroom book and it has 550 pages,
you can't fill it with all sports.
I can't put it with sports on every page, because after a while you go, this isn't a Lightroom book, it's a sports book. Yeah. So I do shoot everything, but I don't spend any time learning wedding photography. I spend zero time trying to become a better wedding photographer. I spend a lot of time trying to become a better sports photographer. I really shoot two things. It's people. I generally shoot people. However, I shoot people sometimes moving very quickly, and sometimes they're not moving at all. But I think of myself as a people photographer, and when I go on vacation, I become travel photographer. But I'm not working to get a job as a travel photographer, things like that. Okay. Anyway, thank you for the follow up there. All right. So Eric, what are we saying here, bro?
Let's go back to that last one. That one's near and dear to my heart. I love shooting on the beach. The beach is an airy, open, expansive place. I never feel like I'm claustrophobic or in a cave there. And the heavy vignettes here work on some of your landscape stuff, but here, open that up. I mean, you have a sun flare in there, you have beautiful clouds. There's no reason you should have all that dark gloom stuff around the side.
Yeah.
But I love the placement of the sun flare. I love the way you're leading in with the flags. I love the color balance with the kayaks. I think that's a great shot. Just, you know, if you left it maybe straight out of camera, didn't put that vignette on it, didn't bake it so contrasty. But, and you know, that might just be that might be part of their style. It might be that vignette, you know, so because it is consistent.
Can you bring up the waterfall really quick? Just a little tip. Whenever you got all those little holes in the trees in the middle, clone that stuff out.
Right over here?
Right, yeah, right up there. It happens a lot. Like, there's just breaks in the trees, you got to clone it out.
Clone it out. Fill it with other trees.
Yeah.
All right. So overall, what would you tell this person overall?
Good. Maybe just experiment with your post-processing, because, I mean, technically and compositionally, you've got a good eye. You know, they're great shots.
Yeah, it's a competent photographer for sure.
Yeah, just play around with your post.
Play around with your post. That sounds naughty. Yeah. Tweet that. Erik Valind, quote of the day.
You just want a copy of my book.
Play around with your post, from Erik Valind. All right, here we go. Is it just me, or do 4 out of 5 of these shots, the person in it or the animal in it looks like it wants to poop? Poop.
They're not even
poop.
They're not even paying attention.
Yeah.
The little girl photo is actually the most expression that he had. Like Peter Hurley would probably, I think he would say expression.
Yeah.
And the first 2 are lacking.
Yeah.
Pooping.
It's just the first. Are we jumping in? I guess the first 2, it looks like you kind of just caught someone off guard. That could be a casual moment with the kid. It's just like, hey, Bobby, and then take the photo.
Yeah.
So I would definitely lose that. You have a bunch of negative space that you don't need on the top there. So it's just, and the cropping on the fingers, you never want to crop at joints, at fingers, things like that. It just looks awkward.
Oh, yeah, right down here. Yeah.
So yeah, don't crop at fingers. Compose that differently so you don't have all the negative space. So you can crop that on like a forearm or square crop it. Oh yeah, if you're shooting for a, you know, a magazine masthead, I mean, yeah, sure. You have plenty of space right there for the cover of Vogue or something. Oh God.
I'm the kid pooping.
Hey, has anyone else noticed how the character tool bar in Photoshop lags out Photoshop more than any other function you could ever do?
Yes.
It's incredible. You can liquefy faster than you can add text to a in Photoshop.
Actually, I gotta say, brushing in Photoshop lags out Photoshop more than anything. Yeah. Like I use the brush tool, and me and Pete go back and forth on this. I just
what's weird is
throw my computer through the window.
I have no problem with the brush tool. Did you see me using it earlier? I wasn't lagging.
Sit next to me and Pete for an hour.
So why is that? Because you've talked about this for a long time.
Are you guys on old Gateway computers?
The blank menu attack yet?
No.
All your menus go completely blank.
I lose my cursor all the time.
The blank
I can't
menu
see it. It
attack,
disappears.
Pete calls
That happened
it.
to me in my seminar in Salt Lake. For a minute
What
there,
do you do? It's just...
I don't know. Eventually it came back, but I couldn't tell you why. Okay. All right.
So lose that one for sure.
Yeah, lose that one for sure. What would you tell this photographer overall? That's not the same photographer. Hold on.
That's a good photographer.
Rich, thank you. You're very kind. All right, here we go.
Your expressions on your animals are better with your people. So... I mean this in a good...
harsh day on the grid.
No, they really are. With people, you have to... People's all about establishing a connection, a trust, and eliciting responses from a person usually. With animals, yeah, if you sit there long enough, you like that. Great expression on the lion. Great expression on the giraffe. I would crop that into all of the shade. Your eye goes to the brightest thing in the scene, so all I'm doing is seeing this massive flood of bright light. So I would crop it into the shade, then bring up the exposure and contrast to make that a better...
Should we leave the lion looking kind of blue?
You like the blue tint? I think he should be a little warmer. He's in the sun all the time. Yeah, there we go. And a little exposure. Of course, I'm looking at a TV monitor.
Hold on, I overdid the contrast.
I just tried to tell Scott how to Photoshop
No, it's okay. No, dude,
There we go. So look at this shot compared to the first one. If we were in Lightroom, we could do a survey. Greg,
look how
back
blue
and
it
forth.
was, too.
Ow! So what?
The blue tint
what's your
was killing
shortcut
me.
for that?
For
just the preview button?
Yeah, P. The letter P.
Okay, cool. That's really cool. So big difference. Now that's a cool photo. I love the expression. I love the little kids on there. So you're good at seeing the expression and know what you're looking for. Try to elicit that kind of expression from
compared to the
from
other
your subjects.
giraffe, like trying to give that.
Where is that?
This on 500px.
All right, how can I find that? We're gonna help you out here.
Because I want to help them see like
Yes.
the difference between their giraffe photo and
All right, give me just a second.
a giraffe photo, because we've had this before where this was probably over a year ago. Somebody submitted a photo of a deer, and at some point they probably saw a really beautiful photo of a deer, and this wasn't it. It was like the deer's butt was to us, and it was like half turned and everything like that. And then so we went on to 500px, and we found a picture of a deer, and we're like, you can take a picture of a deer, but it's got to have some really, really nice something going on behind it. I think it had like beams of light coming in. And like,
All right, so here's one from 500px.
Okay.
Oh,
go back. Yeah, that was a perfect one. That's perfect.
Okay, so
500px is cheating, by the way.
Right.
All the photos are good on there.
Right. So this is, if you were looking like, what's a good giraffe shot look like? Well, I would say that. I mean, there's the ones I didn't pick are these amazing ones from Africa, because that's just cheating. Yeah. But this one could have been taken in a zoo or wherever, you know. And then we're faced with.
You think neck on a giraffe? What's the big feature on a giraffe? Is it super long neck? So you want to showcase some of that. Yeah. It's just like just doing him justice, because that's what's unique about him.
I'm sorry. Another quote of the day from Erik Valind. Showcase the neck.
Show the neck.
If you're shooting a giraffe, someone tweet this, please. If you're shooting a giraffe, showcase the neck.
It's at Erik V Photo.
Erik V Photo. Yeah. He's bang. He's on it. All right.
The last one is the girl. Great expression. Vertical crop that. It looks like she's got legs growing out of her ears.
Yeah.
Great expression. Throw a vertical crop rather than the horizontal crop on that, and you're good to go.
All right. Okay. We're gonna take a break after this one. Here we go. All right, I like this one. I like this one. First one right out of the bat. Like it. Like it.
Yeah.
It's too small. You should have used a bigger camera. Sorry, we'll fix that in a second. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner.
We have
good
stuff.
Can I tell you something about this? The pictures are different. They're photographed different, but you can tell it's the same photographer.
Yeah, and I was just going to say.
You see a consistency in their vibe.
And you're looking at things, though. So I'm looking at all of these photographs, and they all seem they're from the same focal length. So it could be about maybe 35 millimeters. Do we have the EXIF data on that? Don't call me on it.
They're PNGs. They won't.
Okay.
Oh, okay, the PNG.
So they all look like they're a little bit of a more like a wide, like slightly wide to a normal zoom lens. So you're getting a very normal view on life. We're not compressing it. We're not making it wide angle like a frog would see the world. Like this is a very natural way to view these people. And if you look, all the photographs are taken slightly from below eye level. So there's two things right there that this person has used to define their style, whether it's accidentally or intentional. I think at this point, this person seems pretty good. They're doing this unintentionally. This is just stylistically their habit of doing it. All of these photos are taken from under eye level, a little bit wide.
And that's part of the way you can tell it's the same photographer. This photographer has a signature style to the way they're composing. And let's just see. And here he is right here. This is him.
So that looks like, what is that? Red band, 35mm f2, L-glass. Oh, good.
Lexar card.
Boom, done.
There he is, right there. And the only reason we're showing this, you're supposed to be blind critiques. We don't know his name, but if you're really good, we don't mind calling you out.
Oh, man. Someone's going to use that like tineye.com or whatever and reverse engineer it. I like the sun flare. I'm partial to this. This is the kind of stuff I like to shoot. I like the sun flare lifestyle kind of stuff. And then it's got a cool moment. It's not static and boring. You do these car shots where I see a lot of wedding photographers do it, where they're just lounging like in the back of the car. I was like, did you fall asleep drunk in the back of your car and wake up after the wedding reception? Like, what's going on here?
You know what the problem is? You don't lounge in the back of your car enough.
Apparently not.
Dude, if you were doing more car lounging.
This, again, shooting up, this is breaking all your rules of composition. You're shooting right up this girl's nose with a wide angle lens, but you have a great expression on there, and it's interesting composition of the photograph. See how there's a lot of negative space, you're using the lines to lead her in, so a lot of rules are broken here, but it works.
And the shadows are under her nose that kind of help, it's a little shadowy under there, so it's not like you're really getting like a medical shot of her nose.
Like hairs up there.
You got a little lucky there in that, but that's okay. That's
They meant
good.
to do that.
This one, we're gonna see, I can see if I can make it bigger.
I don't know
if I can make this bigger. Wait. Come on, Cody and Heather. Let's go big. There we go.
Okay.
It's too wide. I know the look that they're going for, but you know what it is? If you can't have any idea who the bride and groom are, the engagement couple, we've seen this many times before. But unfortunately, they're just a little too aggressive in their wide angleness.
That is popular where you have a ton of negative space on the top, but you want to get closer to them, and then you might not want to use a wide angle lens. You might want to zoom in a little bit so you compress the scene more. You can see the people a lot better, and then you also leave a lot of that negative space like Scott just did on the top. So, yeah, really popular composition now, but you do want to be able to see more of them because I imagine this is what they're paying you for.
There we go. It's kind of crooked too, so.
Yeah.
I'd take that one out.
Yeah, I think I would drop that one.
Drop that one. Because without that one, we really don't have much to talk about.
And also, if you look at all of his compositions, they're pretty much 3/4 length photos, right? They're basically from the waist up kind of shots. Also, the expressions, you know, it's just.
That's eliciting good responses from your people. That's someone who takes some time to get to know that person or put them at ease before they aim a camera at them.
And you know what? I wouldn't call this good lighting. It probably looks like natural light, ambient light. There's some light overhead, but we're not thinking about the lighting because the expression is so good. We're not sitting there going, "Oh man, the lighting's really bad." The lighting's okay, but the guy's expression is so real and natural, and his pose and his gesture and all is so good that you're like, "Hey, it's a cool shot."
We have to critique though. Go back to that one. Look at how shiny that metal conduit piping or whatever is down there.
Point.
I can tell you what Adobe lauds the whole content aware. Would they do a brick example? If you do content aware fill on that, which just make a selection, Command Delete, and hit Enter. Scott's going to show you how to really. I can't find things in the drop-down menus. I have no idea where they are. I know my shortcuts. Look at that. It creates a brick pattern. Done. Now you don't have that shiny thing, because remember, eyes go to the brightest thing. His forehead's pretty bright. That shiny pipe was even brighter. So by taking that away, now you have no excuse not to look at this guy's awesome expression.
Yep. And you want to see before and after there? See what a difference that makes? You're right about the way it draws the eye.
That's huge. Cool. So whoever you are, we want to see that on your website changed in like 30 minutes.
Fix that. But good job. Good job. We're happy. We're digging you. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, more Erik Valind, more blind photo critiques, more of Erik being really mean to people.
He is mean today.
While Matt and I are super, super nice. Scott Kelby here, and welcome to this quick tour of our online training. We have hundreds of online classes for you, covering everything from lighting to landscape photography, from portrait photography to sports. We have classes on weddings, automotive photography, shooting, food, fashion, travel, you name it. And you get access to them all, 24 hours a day, on demand. We use only world-class instructors and the most famous names in photography training today. I have handpicked what I believe are truly the most talented, most knowledgeable, and most gifted trainers in the industry. Photographers who are really passionate about their work and about sharing their techniques with you. The second benefit of our online training is we put you right there alongside the instructor. Imagine being on location in Montana, learning wildlife photography from Moose Peterson. Or standing beside Joe McNally in Santa Fe, New Mexico as he shows you his tricks for shooting in difficult lighting situations. How about learning travel photography with me in the streets of Paris, France, or being right there during an actual live wedding as you learn exactly how top pro wedding photographer David Zeiser captures amazing images in a very hectic environment. Or how about learning how to shoot high school football with Dave Black during a real high school football game? Whether we're in the studio or on location around the world, our classes put you right there, right beside the instructor, and it doesn't matter whether you're a beginner or a pro because we have classes for every level. You also get our award-winning magazine, Photoshop User. It's packed cover to cover with tutorials, articles, news, and reviews, all created exclusively for our members. You also get special discounts on all sorts of things, from camera gear to software, from hardware to laptops to lighting. You'll also get the answers you need to your toughest Photoshop, Lightroom, and photography gear questions with our one-on-one tech support. And the best part is the price. It's really simple. You get all of this for just $25 a month. Or you can save $50 and get an annual subscription for just $249. That's KelbyOne. Brilliant teachers, amazing classes, clear, simple, and fun, all at a price anyone can afford. I invite you to join with us and start learning right now at KelbyOne.com.
We are back live on the grid. Matt Kloskowski here with Scott Kelby and Mr. Erik, crusher of all dreams, photographic related, Valind. All right, so we are. So we just finished up on a really good one too. So and we got a next one up here.
Hey, we got a deal.
Yeah, we're supposed to talk about something on the screen here. You want here? I'll talk about it. How's that? Because I can barely see it.
That'd be good.
All right. So
you want me to help you out?
No, it's we have an ebook deal of the week. So each week, PeachPit gives us kind of a promotion code for an ebook that they have, and
40% off.
40% off, and this one is for Corey Barker's Down and Dirty Tricks Part 2. We had the promotion or the video promo for that up earlier in the show, which is really cool. But Corey knocked this one out of the park. Make sure you check it out, and you'll get 40% off if you just enter the code KelbyOne. That's it.
Deal. All right, you ready to look at some more?
This one's a good one.
This one's a good one. We're going to tell you right now, this person, it's good. That's a good shot right there.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
That's very interesting. You, over there, stop hitting that seal. And that looks like me looking in a mirror. It's crazy.
Same tattoo and everything.
Yeah, I know. I always said, people ask me, why did you get Jose on your side? I'm like, I don't know.
I don't remember that night.
It was a crazy night. So, Erik, overall thoughts?
Crazy night.
Great. Really good lighting. It looks like you either photoshopped in a background or bracketed your exposure. You did something so that you got the background in there. Normally when you do barn shots, you get just an overexposed, like you're walking out of heaven. You turn around, you're going the wrong way, but you're walking out of this tunnel of light. So it's really cool to see this where you took the time to either shoot a plate or do an HDR or whatever you had to do to get that background. I like that on the floor. The only thing on the floor that throws me off is you worked so hard on this photograph. Why that one ugly shadow down there on the left? See it over there? Just kill it. I mean, you've got a perfect vignette with your lighting and with whatever vignette you did in post, so just take that out of there and you might as well make it clean because this is definitely a clean... Okay, so by shooting a plate, I basically mean you shoot a photograph fixed to a tripod or from the angle that you're going to shoot your final photograph of just the background, so without your subject there. So when you want to photograph in a background like this, you have a clean one with no subject in the way, no light stands, none of that in the way. And then if you need to clone stuff out, you can use your original photo of just a clear background to Photoshop out your light stands or Photoshop things back in.
I'm using the wrong thing here.
So what I would mean here is he would have made an exposure of the background, exposed for that without the horse and the model and the dog in the way. And then when he took the photograph, lighting them and exposing for them, he just photoshopped in the background that he had taken previously. It's super, super, super common.
So it's like a plate?
Yeah, like a plate.
All right, here we go.
Is that Neil Patrick Harris?
No.
It's not?
That's Bob Johnson.
If that's Neil Patrick Harris, you
That's
already
not-
have the clients.
That's not Neil Patrick
No?
Harris.
I don't
no.
think so.
No.
Oh, okay.
That's,
I'm looking again sideways on Scott's monitor here. I like this though. This is cool. It's I love the interaction with the animals and stuff. I've tried to photograph animals with people, dogs, and stuff like that, and it's hard enough to get an expression out of a person, let alone an animal. So that
I'm going
says
to
a
guess.
lot.
Now, I'm not an expert at this, but I'm going to guess the person in that image is Graham Richardson. So I'm just guessing because the next one is called Seal.
So here, after looking through the whole thing, have we cycled through all of them yet? Let's look at this one.
Yeah, we got that one.
That one, and then the next one. So the music ones, they date themselves. I look at this and I immediately assume that the music shots were taken earlier on in the career because the processing is different. It's not as it's just a little more crunchy, a little contrasty, not flattering on the skins. You see how you're getting that orange distortion on the faces and really high contrast in those spectral highlights, those hot spots on the lead singer's face in the middle there. If I look at the next photo, I see really beautiful lighting, but then I also see really conscientious retouching of like skins and to make it look flattering. And I look at the picture of Seal and I look at the picture of that band and I just see, yeah, you got a little too heavy with your high pass filter on that, or something happened where the skin isn't flattering at all and you're getting contrast shifts.
The eyes are black in that band photo too.
Yeah. So maybe if you got some older work in here, you might maybe go back and reprocess some older work. A lot of times you do that. You have favorite photos that live in your portfolio for a long time, but as different software comes out, different raw processing engines come out from Adobe, you should always go back and reprocess your photos to make sure they look cohesive. Because I see the two music shots don't do you any justice to where you're at now as far as your retouching skills are.
And you know what? Just to throw this out there, this is in black and white. This is in black and white. These are both really strong pictures. I know that the color looks good in this, but if you were trying to create a look, like I'm a black and white photographer, that would be good in black and white.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be really nice in black and white. And I like how the clean white sweep that he's got on the guy without the shirt also matches the kind of clean blue sky that you've got in the picture of the musician on the microphone up there. So if you were going to put together an edit, like you would put your images in order for people to view your portfolio, that makes it cohesive. One's black and white, one doesn't have a shirt on, one does. I mean, there's a lot of discrepancies, but to have those together with all that negative space or clear backgrounds kind of ties it together.
Great. All right, just a few more. Hey, can I tell you something? I haven't looked through all these 5. Looking at just these 5, these were all taken by the same photographer. Their subjects are different. One's a house, but that looks like this person's got a style, a shooting style, and a post-processing style, that this could not be 5 different photographers.
This guy's a Wes Anderson fan. What's the new one? The Budapest Hotel? If you look at every single scene in all of those movies, all of them are very front and center with, your horizontal lines going, your leading lines going into the center. Every shot, it seems, is composed like that in the movies, and you don't realize it until you look at screen grabs and stuff. But yeah, that again is how you establish a style. I mean, he's made a career of incredible movies, but stylistically or visually, he's got that style going through. That one doesn't fit the style.
The post-processing is consistent, but it is out of character with that.
Centered.
It's a little out of, but the house is, how would you center this house? Well, I guess you'd have to go wider. Because the house itself is kind of funky. But the post-processing is very consistent.
Yeah.
Go to the top of the church really quick. All right. I was wondering what... Is that St. Patrick's?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Never mind.
So thoughts overall?
I like it. You definitely have a style, like a vision there. So when you're paring down your portfolio, make sure you stick to it. Or if you're going to deviate from it, make sure it ties in other ways that it doesn't feel out of place.
A little bit of clarity.
And just make it crunchy.
Just make it crunchy. Good stuff, though.
Get that one out of there because of the border.
Yeah.
Delete it immediately.
So it's interesting. So we have bad light, Bad light.
Good
Great
light.
light. Bad light.
No border, border. No border, no border, border. You know what? It looks like you're pulling from like a smaller pool of images here. So maybe just kind of starting out, and you're looking for people. It seems like your people are relatively at ease. If this guy's bored, maybe that's just his cool look. So I mean, as your technical skill comes up, and as far as lighting and things go, I mean, you have the foundations of the ability to work with people and not make them look terrified in front of your lens. Like that's a cool reaction you got from the guy. Just when you're working with your lighting, try to move your lighting off camera more. So if you go to the black and white of the girl, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful because you have a direction of light that isn't coming from on top of your camera, because it allows that to kind of cast a lot of shadow and create depth. Where if you look at 2 or 3 of your other photos in the portfolio, it looks like your pop-up flash was on, and that immediately flattens out your subject. You'd be better off turning off your flash altogether, using a higher ISO or a faster lens, and just using your natural light. Because the one with the girl in front of the harbor, if we go over to, that looks like beautiful golden hour light. Like, I only can imagine what the light would look like if you turned off your pop-up flash.
Yeah.
Had her look over to the right side of the frame into the setting sun. Looks really overcast. I imagine that would be an absolutely gorgeous portrait.
Do you think her hair is green?
I don't know. It might be post-processing, cross-processing.
Can you go to the last photo really quick? Is there even light on her?
Yeah.
It looks like that's maybe trying to use more of the natural light there, so bump that up. I mean, that right there, you just grab your whites in the white slider and just crank that.
Speaking of whites, you have to get rid of the
border,
big
please.
white booger coming out of her. The nose.
Oh, God, yeah.
I don't know. I can't not see
this
it.
boog
so-
right there?
Yeah, man.
You got a boog coming out. It's going to pop.
She's kind of...
So that's just looking for clean headspace right there. When you're framing up your subject, you want to make sure there's not anything distracting growing out of their head or their nose or their face or anything like that. Put them in a consistently dark area or a clean patch of sky or something.
I can't see it now.
I know, she's...
Oh, I didn't see it till you brought it up.
Yeah,
Dude, I
she's
can't
working
not
a bug.
see it. It's like...
Oh.
Oh, thank you.
I'm doing a sloppy job
I don't care,
here, but
dude.
yeah, I know you don't care. You just want that boog out of there.
All right, so we got a question from Aaron. Aaron says, "Hi, I'm not the photographer, but I was assisting at the shoot for the shot with the horse in the barn. That was all done with lighting. The background was not photoshopped in through the barn back door. We also had to desensitize the horse to the studio lights first."
That brings up the good point. If you're shooting horses, always ask permission to use a flash. Always. It's very seldom. Okay, so what they did there, if it's not photoshopped, then what they did is they set an exposure for the outdoor.
And then just had her lit with it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really easy to do if you guys want to do that. If you have access to a studio strobe or something a little more powerful, you turn off all your lights and you set up your camera and you get an exposure where just your outside background light is exposed to where you want it to be. And then you just turn on your studio strobe and you turn the power up until they're equally lit with the outdoors in the back. So yeah, that's another great way to do it. If you don't have powerful strobes like that, you can shoot a background and then use a speed light to kind of light up the horse. If you have a studio strobe, which it looks like they might have had in that case, then you're going to use that extra power to balance it out with the daylight.
All right, just 1 second. Don't go to mine yet.
Oh, that's...
We're gonna.
Nice.
I'm surprised we missed this one, dude.
Yeah, there's one that it's gonna need a little
Last
tiny
minute
bit
submission.
of work.
I think we got a solid shot though.
Hold on.
I don't really think... I didn't know we missed that one.
Yeah, 1 second here. I'm sorry. It needs a. Hey Matt, while I'm doing this, why don't you?
You want to do a giveaway?
Yeah, well, tell them where to go for the giveaways. Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. All right, so while he's checking out one last minute submission here, you want to win a prize. So we have, what do we have over there? We have your book.
Boom.
Snapshots to Great Shots.
Boom, shakalaka
Portrait
laka.
photography. And then we also have a KelbyOne subscription, so full year to KelbyOne. To enter, you're going to go to kelbyone.com/webcasts/contests. I'm not going to tell you how to fill out a form. You should already know how to do this by now. But what you do have to do is at the bottom under comments, tell us what you want to win so that we give you the prize that you want. All right?
You want the book. Now you want the KelbyOne.
I think you want both.
All right. So
You want them all.
Don't say both because you're not going to get both.
All right,
But-
we can go to the screen now. So.
All right, so this is the last minute submission. Wow.
So this is a selfie, of course. I just want to tell you up front, I'm just holding my phone out. This is before I came to work today, by the way. But I think since we mentioned that guy had that Jose tattoo.
Yeah,
I
it
thought
almost looks exactly the same as his.
I
You
was
got to
like-
show yours off.
Yeah, it's in the kind of the same spot and all, but I think
Close.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Eric's like, it's close. Yeah, it's dead close. It's scary close. Hold on. Where were we? We're here. All right. Now, hey, we only have a few minutes left. Oh gosh, we don't have any minutes left.
No.
Well, we're out of time. Let's go through these real quick.
Okay, let's do it.
Bang, 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 bang.
bang, bang,
Hold
bang.
on. Let me just open them in. They're just so small we can't see them. We'll open them here.
Okay, so the reason you have red eye isn't because of her contacts, it's because of the on-camera light. Turn off your on-camera flash. Next. That's beautiful. You overprocessed her eyes. They're just looking super unnatural and kind of demonic. Great expression. You over-whitened the teeth and overdid the eyes.
And they
you read
oversoft-
Scott's book, but you didn't
oversoftened-
fade the opacity.
Yeah, over softened the skin there.
Good expression. I think this looks like they separated her off the background, or is that just a natural gradient like that? I don't know. It looks a little unnatural. I don't know. Read one of Kelvin Hollywood's or Joel's classes and composite her on a background. Okay, I see what this person's doing.
Why is he holding his
They're
chin?
cutting him out like that, yeah. He's stroking the beard. Stroking the goat.
Stroking the goat.
Yeah, right. Tweet that one.
Okay, tweet that one. Erik Valind. He's stroking the goat. We're trying to get our ratings up, and this is the kind of stuff that does it.
At Eric
He's
V. Photo.
stroking the goat. I think that's the last one. Wait, did we get to number 9? No, last one. Here we go.
Nice.
Wow,
a cool
that's
photo.
that's out of
Wow.
Yeah,
landscape.
there's
Landscape. Up, fire.
Wow.
Photojournalism.
That's a really great photojournalism shot, though, right there.
It is.
Maybe crop it a little tighter so you don't have some tree up there in the top left corner, and I think you have
Yeah,
a much stronger
the
image.
tree's not helping this
Or
much.
throw a gradient on it. Just knock it down something. Either cut it out or make it darker.
That's better.
That's beautiful. Yeah, that's a really great capture.
It is. It's just, you know what it sounds like, though? Here's the problem is, I don't think that this person is probably a photojournalist. They
No.
weren't on assignment. The house next door burned down. You ran outside and got the picture. It doesn't say anything about you as a photographer,
Yeah.
other than you were there the day the house on next door caught on fire. These are the ones that only ones we can really judge you on.
Yeah.
Unless you sent in 5 photojournalistic shots, and then we could,
The selective color. I want to bristle at the selective
Where's-
color,
where's the
but
select-
Where's the
Selective
selective color?
the mountain, the blue. Oh, you can see color in here. Okay, I'm looking at an uncalibrated TV monitor. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And,
you
it's
hear
not
me get
just-
jumped on for that? Jeez. I like it.
It could have been. I mean,
Maybe bring up the mountains a
sunrise or
little
sunset would probably make it a little better.
bit. Yeah. Yeah. Bring up the brightness of the mountains in the last one.
Not a
This
big
one,
black and white fan, but that's nice clouds.
There's a lot of contrast here. Lower the vignette again. I mean, you have a beautiful scene. Yeah, lighten up the mountains.
Yeah, I'd actually like to see the highlights in the sky come back,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then the shadows in the mountains open up.
There you go.
Look at that.
Throw a vignette on there.
No, but you know
put
what
a bird
we'd
on
do?
it.
Here's what you might do: is throw a gradient filter in the sky with diamonds.
Gray in the sky.
Sky with diamonds. So I'm glad somebody got that. All
Jose
right.
in the sky. There.
So then the difference would be from here
Oh yeah.
to there.
Oh yeah.
Whoa. There were trees down there.
I wasn't kidding about my vignette either.
You want a little vignette?
Just a little bit.
Well, then I'm going to get rid of the gradient if I popped in the sky. Let's get rid of that then. And then we're going to go to the effects menu. FX. And bring in just a tad.
Did you hear what he said there? Just a tad.
How about the clarity? Clarity.
some
You know what?
clarity?
It's probably
Yeah, it looks pretty crispy
it's
as
pretty
it is.
crunchy there.
Oh, that's not bad.
Wow.
Actually, that's not bad. You might even throw a little vibrance in there. Ooh. All right, now let's look at the before and after. Before. After. We're way crazy out of time. Erik, thank you very much for being our guest today.
Thank
Where
you for
can
having
people go learn more about you and your books and your stuff?
All right, erikvalind.com. I think they're going to throw it in the bottom of the screen or comments or something over there.
Nah. they're
Nah.
not-
Okay,
they're not
so
good.
ERIKVALIND.
You know, we asked them for lower thirds a long time ago. You know what they said? No.
No.
Anyway.
Hey, also we have a brand new class coming out tomorrow too. So I want to let you guys know we do an interview series over at KelbyOne where we interview a lot of photographers out there, and we got one with Joe McNally coming out tomorrow. So
Joe McNally.
should
Hey,
be
yeah.
pretty good.
Go make sure you go stop by and check. There's Eric's stuff.
There you go.
Dude, he's
Erikvalind.com.
good.
Instagram and Twitter is where you can get at me if you have questions, comments, anything like that. Hey, your work's great. Hey, your work sucks. Like, go there. Instagram or Twitter.
Don't say, hey, your work sucks, though.
Don't say, hey, your work sucks.
Yeah, you won't win my book that way.
Nope. Anyway, hey, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for everybody that submitted images today. Mr. Kloskowski, where are you teaching any place anytime soon?
Dude, I am home until June.
I'm home till May. Are we supposed to go to Portland in May? Okay, we're supposed to go to Portland in May. I have no idea when. Sometime in May. Portland.
I totally rewrote my Lightroom seminar workbook, but it's killing me because I want to go teach it now, and I don't have any seminars till June. But
hey, someone call Portland. Tell Voodoo Donuts Brad and I are coming. Stay open late. All right. Thanks to everybody for watching. Thanks to all our sponsors. Thanks to Eric for hanging out with us, and thanks to you guys. We'll see you next week, May 13th. Brad says May 13th. See you guys next week, right here live on the grid. Take care.